The night air was cold, and the city lights blurred as tears filled her eyes. She had just walked away from another date, another polite smile, another quick goodbye. No one ever stayed when they thought she had nothing. And yet, this time, something inside her whispered that the next meeting would change everything. She didn't want pity. She didn't want praise. She wanted truth. She wanted to know who would choose kindness when there was nothing to gain. Before the story begins, take a moment to support the channel. If stories like this move your heart, please subscribe, like the video, and share your thoughts in the comments. You're watching Story of Pure Kindness, where simple acts change lives in powerful ways. Her name was Claire Reynolds, and in public, she was known as a successful CEO of a fast-growing tech company in Chicago. Her face appeared in business magazines. Her name opened doors. But on blind dates, Claire hid all of that. She dressed simply, left her luxury car at home, and told every man the same story. She said she was between jobs. She said money was tight. She said she lived in a small rented apartment. And she watched closely. Claire didn't start doing this out of bitterness. She started after a heartbreak that shook her deeply. Years earlier, when she finally trusted someone with her success, the relationship changed overnight. Suddenly, every decision revolved around money. Every argument ended with numbers. When it fell apart, she promised herself she would never again be loved for what she owned. So she created a quiet test. Not to judge, but to understand. Most dates ended the same way. Some men politely excused themselves after hearing her story. Others offered advice she didn't ask for, or worse, made jokes to hide their discomfort. A few stayed for dinner but checked their phones constantly, already drifting away. Claire always paid her own bill and walked home alone. Then one evening, she met Mark. Mark was a single dad who worked 2 jobs. He raised his 8-year-old daughter, Lily, on his own after his wife passed away years earlier. Life hadn't been kind to him, but it hadn't made him bitter either. He showed up to the date in clean but worn clothes, nervous and hopeful. They met at a small diner, the kind with cracked booths and warm coffee. Claire told her usual story. She watched his face carefully as she spoke. Mark didn't flinch. Instead, he smiled softly and said, "I've been there. It's not easy, but it doesn't mean you don't matter." Those words caught her off guard. Throughout the meal, Mark listened more than he talked. When Claire apologized for ordering something cheap, he gently shook his head. "You don't need to explain yourself," he said. "We're just 2 people sharing a meal." At the end of the night, when the check came, Claire reached for her wallet out of habit. Mark stopped her. "I've got it," he said. "Not because I have a lot, but because I want to." She hesitated. "Are you sure?" He nodded. "Kindness isn't about having extra. It's about choosing to give anyway." That night, Claire walked home with a strange feeling in her chest. Hope. They kept seeing each other. Claire stayed true to her story. She mentioned stress about bills. She talked about fears of the future. Mark never pulled away. Instead, he showed up more. He cooked simple meals for her. He introduced her to Lily carefully, with kindness and trust. He never complained about his life. When Claire offered to help him financially once, pretending it was extra money she had saved, he gently declined. "I don't want you to feel responsible for me," he said. "I just want us to be partners." Claire had never felt safer. One evening, Mark's car broke down. He didn't tell Claire at first. She found out when he showed up. Late, exhausted, after walking several miles. When she asked why he hadn't called, he shrugged. "I didn't want to be a burden." That word hit her hard. She realized then how rare his kindness was. Not loud, not showy, just steady. The truth came out by accident. One afternoon, Claire rushed out of Mark's apartment, forgetting her phone. When Mark picked it up to bring it to her, a notification lit up the screen. A business news alert with her name and photo. Confused, he opened it. By the time Claire returned, Mark was sitting quietly, phone in hand, his face unreadable. She froze. "I can explain," she whispered. Mark looked up, eyes full of questions, not anger. "Why didn't you tell me?" Tears streamed down her face as she finally told him everything. The test, the fear, the heartbreak, the need to be seen as human, not a wallet. "I wasn't trying to trick you," she said. I was trying to protect my heart. Mark sat silently for a long moment. Then he sighed. I won't lie, he said. It hurts that you didn't trust me. Her heart sank. But, he continued, I understand why you did it. And I'm glad you did. She looked up, surprised. If I had known you were rich, he said, I might have tried too hard. Or felt small. Or stepped back. This way, I just got to know you. Claire laughed through tears. She expected distance after that. Instead, Mark stayed the same. He didn't ask for gifts. He didn't change his behavior. If anything, he became more protective of her heart. Months later, Claire invited Mark and Lily to a charity event. It was the first time Mark saw her world fully. The lights, the respect, the applause. Lily squeezed his hand. Is she famous? She whispered. Mark smiled. She's kind, he said. That's better. At the end of the night, Claire took the stage. She spoke about success, but not in numbers. She spoke about kindness, about how true wealth is revealed when nothing is promised in return. Her eyes found Mark in the crowd. This company exists, she said, because I believe the world can be built on compassion. Later that night, Mark proposed with a simple ring and shaking hands. I can't give you luxury, he said. But I can give you loyalty, honesty, and love. Claire said yes without hesitation. They didn't live a perfect life. But they lived a kind one. They taught Lily that generosity isn't about money. It's about heart. Together, they created programs to support single parents, quietly, without headlines. Claire never went on another blind date pretending to be broke. She didn't need to test kindness anymore. She had found it. And as their story spread, it reminded everyone watching that true love doesn't ask what you have. It asks who you are. So if you ever wonder whether kindness still matters in a busy, broken world, remember this story. Remember that the richest hearts often come from those who have the least to give, but give anyway. Let this be a reminder to choose compassion, to see people for who they are, and to spread kindness wherever you go. Because sometimes, one simple act of kindness can change a life forever.